Chaos magic. Imagine a reality where belief isn't fixed, it's fluid, flexible, and alive. In chaos magic, belief is not a prison, it's a weapon, a lens, a tool. It doesn't matter whether the system comes from ancient grimoires or modern memes. Chaos magicians bend reality using symbols of their choosing, summoning gods from forgotten pantheons or inventing entirely new ones, avatars of archetype and will. A ritual might involve candles and blood-red ink, or it might take place inside a video game avatar with a sigil scrawled on a tablet screen. One day you might evoke the fierce energy of Mars, the next you discard that belief entirely and invoke Mickey Mouse as a chaos entity. Why? Because belief isn't sacred, it's modular, temporary, disposable. This is magic stripped to its core: intention, focus, and will. There is no moral compass, no dogma, no high priest handing down eternal truths. Just you, your desire, and the raw void from which all creation emerges. In this space, the only true rule is, does it work? If it does, it's real. If it doesn't, discard it and try again. Chaos magic is the ultimate rebellion against spiritual rigidity, a living laboratory of self-engineered divinity. Gnosticism. Behind the illusion of the physical world, behind your senses, your thoughts, and even your name, lies a deeper truth. Gnosticism whispers that the world you inhabit is a prison, a dream spun by a lesser god. This is not just metaphor. To the Gnostic, the cosmos is a grand deception, built by the demiurge, a blind, arrogant creator who mistakes himself for God. He forged matter as a cage, entrapping fragments of divine light within flesh, bone, and blood. But the Gnostic sees through the veil. Salvation comes not through obedience, not through fear, but through gnosis, a radical, direct knowing of the divine. Not faith, remembering that you are more than this illusion, that the light within you is older than time, purer than form. The Gospel of Thomas doesn't command, it challenges, split a piece of wood, and I am there. The divine hides in the cracks of the world. The soul's purpose is to awaken, ascend, and return to the fullness, the pleroma, from which it fell. The journey is inward, the danger real, but the destination, reunion with the true source. Gnosticism is the secret that the gods themselves tried to bury, because once you awaken, they lose their power. Hermeticism. As above, so below. This single phrase unlocks the heart of Hermeticism, a spiritual philosophy that sees the universe as a mirror of the self. In Hermeticism, the cosmos is a living, conscious being, and you are not separate from it. You are a microcosm, a fractal echo of the divine mind. Hermetic thought traces its lineage to Hermes Trismegistus, the mythical fusion of Egyptian Thoth and Greek Hermes. His teachings, found in the Corpus Hermeticum, weave alchemy, astrology, and sacred philosophy into a unified vision of spiritual ascent. To the Hermeticist, reality is layered: body, soul, spirit. Each layer vibrates in harmony with the whole. Mastery comes from aligning with the divine pattern, not through blind worship, but through inner transformation. Meditation, sacred geometry, symbolic ritual, these are the keys to unlocking the latent divinity within. The great work, often mistaken for the literal transmutation of lead into gold, is in truth a metaphor. The lead is your base self. The gold? A soul illuminated, purified, and returned to source. Hermeticism does not promise salvation, it promises self-initiation, if you are brave enough to see the divine staring back at you from the mirror. Astral projection. Close your eyes, breathe, let go. The body grows heavy, and yet something stirs. You are not your flesh, you are not your heartbeat, you are consciousness itself. In astral projection, the soul unbinds itself from matter and travels, fluid, weightless, infinite. The ancients knew of this art. Egyptians spoke of the ka, the subtle twin. Hindu mystics charted the paths of the sukshma sharira, the subtle body. Shamans journeyed through dreams and symbols to realms beyond reason. Today, modern seekers close their eyes and leave their bodies behind, traversing the astral plane in search of insight, healing, or hidden knowledge. The astral is not fantasy. It is layered consciousness. Some float above their sleeping forms, others fly to distant cities or ancient lands. Some are pulled through tunnels of color and light, where beings of impossible beauty or terrible power reside. There are guides, there are guardians, there are gates that test your will. But the purpose is not escapism, it is integration. To learn that you are more than this world, and yet bound to it by choice, that you are eternal, and this life, just one stanza in a much longer poem. Hypnosis. Between waking and sleeping lies a forgotten door. Hypnosis is the key. It is not mind control, it is mind focus. In this altered state, the conscious mind fades to the background, and the subconscious, the deep library of self, comes to the front. Ancient Egyptians used sleep temples to heal. Greek oracles entered trance to receive visions. In modern times, pioneers like Mesmer and Braid began to uncover hypnosis as both science and art. Today it sits on the cusp of both, used in clinics to treat pain, trauma, addiction, used on stages to astound and amuse. But beneath the showmanship lies a deeper power. The ability to reshape belief, confront fears, access forgotten memories, or even witness past lives. In trance, suggestion becomes architecture. Thoughts become landscapes. You can enter the moment when a fear was born and rewrite the script. Hypnosis is the scalpel that cuts deep, not to wound, but to reveal. And those brave enough to journey inward may find truths buried beneath 1,000 layers of noise. Paganism. Long before the rise of monotheism, before temples of marble or stained glass, there was earth. Raw, alive, holy. Paganism is the ancient echo of humanity's first spiritual language, rooted in the soil, the stars, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In the old ways, gods did not live in the sky, they were the sky. The thunder was a god's voice, the river was her hair, rites were held under full moons, beside sacred groves, atop windswept hills. Every season marked a shift in the great wheel, and every act, from harvesting grain to lighting a fire, was a ritual. Modern paganism, often called neo-paganism, revives these traditions. Wicca, druidry, heathenry, they are not recreations, but rebirths. Today, pagans still honor the Sabbats, speak to the gods, and commune with nature as kin. In a world of concrete and screens, paganism reminds us we are not apart from the earth. We are her dreaming, her voice, her blood. To walk this path is not to escape civilization, but to rewild the spirit, to remember that every stone and star still sings. Alchemy. What if gold was never the goal? What if the true aim of alchemy was not the transformation of matter, but the evolution of the soul? Alchemy began in the crucibles of ancient Egypt, burned through Persia, bloomed in Renaissance Europe. It cloaked itself in secrecy and symbol, dragons, serpents, suns, and moons, not to obscure, but to protect its truth from the uninitiated. Yes, the alchemists sought to transmute lead into gold, to discover the philosopher's stone. But the greatest alchemists knew that lead was the ego, gold was the awakened soul, and the stone, the mythical lapis, was divine consciousness crystallized in human form. The stages of the great work, nigredo, albedo, citrinitas, rubedo, mirror the cycles of death, purification, illumination, and rebirth. The furnace is the heart, the vessel is the mind. The elements, earth, air, fire, water, are not just materials, but states of being to be mastered. Alchemy teaches that everything can be refined, even you. Theosophy. In a time of scientific revolution and spiritual confusion, Theosophy rose like a bridge between worlds. It was not a religion, it was a revelation. Helena Blavatsky and her circle believed that behind all religions and myths was a single truth, a root wisdom, ancient and eternal. Theosophy blends East and West, drawing from Hinduism, Buddhism, Kabbalah, Neoplatonism, and Hermeticism. It speaks of reincarnation, karma, spiritual hierarchies, and ascended masters, beings who have moved beyond the wheel of death and rebirth, guiding humanity in silence from behind the veil. At its heart, Theosophy teaches that life is not an accident. that we are evolving, not just biologically, but spiritually. That consciousness is the true fabric of the universe. And through study, meditation, and inner work, we can awaken to our place within it. Theosophy doesn't demand belief. It offers keys. Keys to symbols, cycles, and the soul. Its message is clear. Seek, and you will remember. Look within, and you will return to the stars. This is Abyssal Narratives. If your mind is open, your heart stirred, and your spirit just a little more awake. Subscribe, support, and follow us deeper into the mystery. The abyss is vast, and we've only begun to explore.